afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us today for the Basis of Homelessness panel. We are excited. We want to hear our community members' stories, and we appreciate you joining us today. My name is Monica Rodriguez, and I am with VCPHD Victoria.
Hello, I'm Sunny Emerson. I'm also with VCPHD Victoria.
So now we have our special guest that just walked in, Kim Pickens. She is with the Homeless Coalition of the voting president. So she's going to share some facts.
Good afternoon, you guys. Sorry I was running a bit late. I went to the wrong auditorium. Guess I should learn how to read. My name is Kim Pickens. I've been doing this work in the Victoria area community for 12 years. I was president of the Homeless Coalition 10 years ago, as a matter of fact, and then so 10 years to the day, I became the president again. It is an honor to serve our community in that capacity. We have some amazing people who, by many circumstances, have become unhoused, and so we're hoping that through events like this, you hearing their stories and getting to know them as the human beings that they are, that you will join us in this situation of basically ending homelessness. I would love to be out of a job. Feel free at any point in time to help me with that. This past point in time count, we have turned in the numbers every year. Housing and Urban Development, HUD, asks communities all across the country to count the number of people that are currently unsheltered, meaning they could live in a car, they could live in an abandoned building, they could sleep on a sidewalk, and also sheltered, like if they're in the Salvation Army, a transitional housing program like Perpetual Health Loan, that we can count those folks to be able to see how many approximately in a 24-hour time period we can find. It's literally like taking a picture. We will never count everybody in 24 hours. This year, fortunately, we also had a warming center the week before, so we knew how many people we had. So I'm just going to give you an example of how many people were in warming centers that were at First United Methodist and at the Salvation Army. At one point in time, we had 30 people staying at the United Methodist Church, and at the same time, we had 24 people staying at the Salvation Army. So you're talking about a minimum of 50 people that we could identify at that one moment in time. We know there were lots of people that didn't come in, and so just an estimation, we can say, probably in all honesty, that we have around 200 people that are currently unhoused. That's a lot of people. For our population, it may not seem like a lot, but when you start to talk to people individually, it's a lot. Every person that we have is important. They're community members, they're taxpayers, they're a whole lot of things, but first and foremost, they're human beings. And I know I have learned the hard way a long time ago. I had a lot of the same questions, a lot of the same thoughts that people have, why don't you get a job? Why don't you do this? Why don't you do that? And when you actually sit down with people and you try to help them get where they need to go, you find out very quickly how hard it is to get an ID, how hard it is to get a birth certificate, how hard it is to be able to get a job when the second thing they ask is what? After your name, what do you put down on an application? An address. And the thing is, and if you don't have that, you don't get the job. If you don't have access to clean clothes, if you don't have access to a shower, you don't get a job, or you don't keep it for very long. So homelessness looks very different in every city and every area, but the people may change, but a lot of the situations and the reasons why people are homeless stay the same. In our area, we've seen And when I say our area, our 10-county area, because Victoria being the only urban, classified as an urban area, 50,000 people or more, we have, you know, everything around us is rural. And so people come here looking for help. The agencies that we have that do a lot of work out in the community are based in Victoria. So like I said, we are a hub. We have people that have aged out of foster care. Quickest way for young people to become homeless is aging out of foster care and not having a place to go. Right now what we're seeing is people my age and older, 55 and up, becoming homeless. Maybe you took care of a family member and you weren't working during that time, and you become unemployed and haven't had a job in years because you were taking care of a family member. That family member dies and you don't have any place to go. We have lots of people that are on the street right now that have a Social Security or a disability check, but because they don't qualify for 2.5 times the amount of rent, they don't get into a place. So they remain homeless. So there are lots of different things. It's not just being an addict. It's not just having a mental health issue. A lot of things that come along with being homeless are compounded by those things. A lot of people didn't start off with an addiction when they went outside, but because it's hard being outside, imagine, it's not camping, it's not going camping with a tent and a nice thing, it's sleeping on the ground, it's having to keep your eyes open all night long, not sleeping, not being able to eat. And I know for some of you I'm preaching to the choir, but I want people to understand that I see you, and I know what the struggle is, and I work really hard to try to figure out how we can fix that. You know, it's hard when people have to continually move to be able to find them, or getting arrested for criminal trespasses and being in jail. Trish and I do a jail check every week to see who's in jail so we can figure out like who we're missing and why we're missing them. And it's hard because it just keeps compounding those issues. Every time you get another ticket, every time you get a violation for public intoxication, for having a dog not on a leash, that's a $660 ticket. And those are the kind of things that keep people from getting housed. It keeps people from being able to get driver's licenses back and IDs back. So like I said, there are lots of different reasons that homelessness looks different for a lot of different people. I see Jessica Pena with VISD, and we don't talk about those numbers enough. We talk about point in time count. There are two definitions for the federal government for homelessness. One is for the point in time count, which is literally being, you know, street homeless or living in a shelter. The second one is what they call McKinney-Vento, and that is specific to students in attending public schools. I don't know that it even applies to private schools, but for sure for public schools. So they count how many people are identified as being homeless, and McKinney-Vento homelessness is, it could be street homeless, it could be living in your car, but mainly it's being doubled up or living in hotels. And for anybody who's ever stayed with a relative when you didn't have anywhere else to go, you know you're like one argument away from being out on the street. And that happens to a lot of people. So I know that we're well over, I don't know if you know what the number is right now, but I know the last time we talked about it, we were over 600 kids that were identified. And so that doesn't include parents, doesn't include grandparents, doesn't include older or younger siblings that don't attend school. So potentially you have several thousand people, and I'm not exaggerating when I say that. I know it sounds scary, but it's the truth. That could potentially be homeless if we had another disaster, another hurricane, another anything, that fire. We just have, I think there were like 2 in the past couple of weeks, families that had experienced fire. Fire disasters are the quickest way to become homeless. We don't like to think of being homeless, but after Harvey, we were all homeless. If you didn't have electricity, you didn't have water at the same time, that's the very definition of being homeless. Not having a structure that is sanitary and safe. There's a lot of shame that goes with being homeless. I've talked to people in cars, and they're like, well, I'm not homeless. And I'm like, you are. You just don't want to admit it because it is tough. You don't want people to look at you differently. You don't want them to not help you. You don't want them to treat you differently. You want to have a normal life. You want to have your life back or get to something better. And I don't want to make it seem like it's all doom and gloom, because we have a room full of people that I see right now that work every day trying to make a difference in that. Whether they're feeding people or living on y'all or, looking at the community. We have people in this room that homelessness has touched them in a way that they can never, you can't unsee it. When you see it, you can't unsee it. And you shouldn't want to. You should want to make a difference. And there are opportunities that are going to be coming up that will make a difference in what we do here. When the official point in time numbers come out, it will be several months from now for this year, but we will make sure they are released. But like I said, just know that it's never the whole picture. And as we move forward, everyone here is welcome to join the Homeless Coalition. It's not some nameless, faceless people. It's the Christ Kitchens, it's the Mid-Coast, it's the Salvation Armies, it's the Our Savior's Lutheran Churches, it's the First United Methodist Churches, it's individuals like yourselves. You're all welcome. It's not an exclusive club, because it's going to take all of us to make a difference. Anything else? I mean, is there something else that you need? The thing is, I can talk about this and you've never actually heard the people talk, because I can bore you into tears of the things that we can and can't do. But I do want you guys to appreciate the people who have taken the time to come forward and talk about their situation, because, like I said, everybody's story, once it becomes personal, you have to get involved. You have to, because the thing is, the personal story is the most important. Like, how did people end up here? Everybody didn't wake up one morning and say, oh, I'm going to be homeless today. It's not true. People don't wake up and say, I want to be unemployed today. I want to be an addict today. No one says that. It happens over time, and it happens because of trauma. Some kind of trauma. So, I beg you to listen to their stories and ask good questions. And thank you.
Okay, so we want to thank him for speaking for us today, and we want to welcome our first guest speaker today. It's going to be Terry Ashcraft to come and just share his experience and his testimony about what he's been through.
Hey everybody, I'm Terry Ashcraft, I'm a service dog Skids. Most of y'all have met me before, or some of y'all. I guess my situation started back at the beginning of COVID. I basically had to leave my job on the Mexican border because it was too high risk, working with below poverty families. And I wound up coming back this way. Didn't really have anywhere to stay, and my job wasn't hiring just for the community action agency. I wound up just screwing along town all day until I just wound up relapsing. I'm in a recovered intravenous addict of 11 years. And one day I just got up and I got sick of seeing everything I was seeing, and I randomly wound up on in my car driving in nowhere really. Made a sign for the first time in my life, something like that, and met some nice Christian lady, and she said, hey, you need to go where you're going, because my sign up said, on a pilgrimage of faith. And she gave me $300 and some food, and I wound up in Victoria. And ever since then, I've been finding the help that I needed, and always trying to work hard to fast track myself into a better position, but I see everybody struggling out here, and I'm one of them. I mean, I've had horrible things happen to me on the streets, and now I don't even have my car, so I'm even closer to there. But I'm also, working hard to make it better. But it's not easy when you don't have transportation, when you don't have shelter. It's harder to get clean. Right now, I stay at the Salvation Army in Victoria, and hopefully for not longer. all the assistance that I get here in Victoria, I'm actually on my way up and just trying to get an apartment, and they help me get my identification, and it's nice. For once, I see a little bit of an end in sight. So I've only been back in Victoria for about almost 2 weeks now, and with y'all's help, I've been able to get a job and an apartment, and I just gotta get Midcoast to sign, and I'm good. I think I'm finishing this cycle of self-destruction, and I'm finally able to do so. So I just wanna thank y'all, and Skits wants to thank y'all.
And your little dog sniffing too.
Thank you, Terry. And next we will have August.
I'm August. I moved here in 2012, working in the oil field. Shortly after moving here in 2015, company shut the doors on me. Well, it's been hell ever since. And I had everything figured out what I was going to say. I raised a family for 26 years. I'm not some bum that's on the street. I have a family that can't put up with me because I'm an asshole. It's not that I'm a bad person. I go to work like a man's supposed to. It's hard to have a job when you ain't got no place to rest your head or take a shower and smell good. If you ever had to wear dingy clothes, come try some. You're not gonna fucking like it. Sorry. I had a job not too long ago. We got kicked out of the place where I was staying. I was flying under the radar, staying there, paying $150 a month, just to have a place to rest my head. $15 an hour in addition to pick up dead chickens. Easy job in my life. Other than that, we really don't need places for us to rest our head and clean up. You don't see me out there flying those signs. I want a job. I want to work. I don't like the street. I got a mean dog. I can't take her nowhere, so I have to have a house. But I'm the one that wants to go to work. I don't want no handout. I just need somebody to get me there, and I'll be there. You won't see me again. Cops in this town will give you a TTW for sleeping trying to keep the animals down in the morning. Go pick on a real criminal. I'm not a criminal. You call them a speeding ticket criminal, or someone else suspended license criminal, well, you need to have your ass whooped. I'm not. Yeah, I make bad choices, doing bad things, but not bad enough to be treated like a criminal. My kids grew up, they're on their own, that's good. I don't have to support them. They don't need their father. I got a dog, that's all I need, and a job. And I'll be Gucci. But other than that, take care. Peace.
Thank you so much, August. Up next, we're going to have Joseph Salazar to share some of his story.
Hey, how you doing, Joseph? I guess what I want to say is it snowballed for me. It started when I had a young age. You know, I got out of weed at school, and from there there's a depression, and you know I kind of got stuck in my ways. And I had a job, I have a daughter. She just turned 18. She's going to school, college. You know, she's doing good. I took it upon myself to stay out of her life because of my drug issue. You know, so I think I made a better choice. She's doing good. I recently in shelter. I've been homeless for over going on 3 years now. My dad passed away, liver failure. We had Alzheimer's. Nobody was there to help us. It was just me. It was tough. My year and a half later, my mom died. So I couldn't pay for this. My agreement with my dad was I stay and I help him when he was sick, and I didn't have to pay bills. You know, just take care of him. When he died, you know, I I always tell everybody, I don't want to do for myself. I don't care about myself. I want to do for other people. That's what makes me happy. You know? It's hard out here. I mean, everybody's trying to put you down, get you down. Just gotta remember, you know, you are a person, you do matter. You scared of you people. Can I have any questions? Like, anything? That's my story.
Thank you, Joseph. Next, we will have Carrie Edwards.
Hi, my name is Carrie. Well, I don't know how to start this, but it's complicated. My story is so many stories put together. I'm not sure if it's mine or somebody else's. That I've been homeless for about maybe 4 years, 3 or 4 years. Not even, I woke up on a couch, coming out of a coma at a stranger's house. And then getting verbally attacked constantly. Still happens, but I've learned how to deal with it on my own. I've always been on the street. I could go way back to the days me and my brother would walk around and just, like I said, my family died, my mom and dad died. So, me and him just, we didn't care for the family drama. Like, we were like, yeah, they're our family, we see brothers and sisters, aunts and uncles, but we just wanted to be out there by ourselves, listening to music, looking around, go from one place to another. But recently it's just gotten worse with me trying to figure out what happened. I'm not getting no details, so it makes me getting on my feet. You know, it's hard for me to get stable right now because I'm receiving too much information. But I like to say that being homeless is, you gotta be respectful. But then you don't put up with nothing, you know, get tired of it. You know, but respect is the main thing. I really, I don't know what else to say about it. Was there any other questions on that?
Is it scary being a woman?
Huh?
Is it scary being a woman and being on the street?
Not really. I'm used to it. I feel like I'm getting somebody else that's anxious, that's next to me, and I'm picking up their vibes, because I don't fear nothing. I stand head tall with anything. I'm not fearful, but I can feel it coming from somebody else. That I can feel like a spirit of somebody that's nervous and scared. And me, I'm not afraid of anything. Like, I go to sleep out in the woods. I can sleep anywhere. I'm knocked out. I don't feel it. I don't hear nothing. Nothing startles me. But I pick it up from something else every once in a while. But it does get depressing. It's like, but I'm always on that. I guess I'm just used to it. Got used to it. But I'm at that point where I'm tired, you know. I'm tired of it. The weather, first of all, I hate the weather. Getting cold. The cold is when, now summer and springtime, that ain't no problem for me. Fall ain't no problem, but when it starts getting, you know, I used to be able to handle the cold. I used to be able to wear shorts, you know, no jacket. But I guess with my age now, it's getting harder to maintain. Well, with
bad thing.
yeah, and then I had some,
is.
yeah, and I had some injuries, so it's kind of making it a little bit harder on me to stand cold. I have to like double my socks. I have the jumpers on, my hoodie on. I have the whole shebang on. Food-wise, me, so you get hungry, but you can I know I can maintain not eating. Like, I could go without eating. I can do that. I've done it before where I don't have to eat nothing and just drink my water. You know, I've been there, done that, but it's hard. It really is hard. drugs. I don't really crave for stuff like that. I'm not like, ooh, I need this one, I'm not, I care less for that. I like to go live. I like to go be social. That's me. So, I'm kind of, on that different level than what some others are. But I understand why they do that too, because it does, you see things around that you're like, ooh. And it's a process for them to get where they need to go on that type of level as well, mentally. Because, like me with my coma, I had to start that just to start getting my memory back. But now I know, oh, I don't need that. I don't receive it. But I didn't have a problem prior to my accident. I had no issues with it. Like, I didn't touch nothing, I didn't drink, I didn't do drugs, I didn't do nothing. I was sober. And so, yeah, this lifestyle is a little different for me. I'm used to having a brother that held my hand and walked with me now. I can't even find him. So I'm having a hard time dealing with that. I'm having a difficult time because I can't see. I'm like, I don't know if it's coming from someone else, but I'm half blind. So having him guide me, he was always with me. And now I'm by myself. So it's been a little rough, because I like to explore. I'll go get in the woods. I'll go get lost, And there was always one of them somewhere to bring me back, but I haven't seen none of them. So they always knew if I'm out of bounds, oh wait, and they would bring me back. But one step at a time, that's all I can do right now. But I think everybody, I know it's hard for y'all too. Very process, but that's all I can really say. Anything else, Mr.?
No, thank you, Carrie.
Thank you so much, Carrie. So up next, we're gonna have Philip Rodriguez.
I'm Philip Rodriguez, I'm 65 years old. I became homeless not by choice. My wife died, and it was very devastating for me. And I walked out of Victoria Corpus Christi. I ended up in Cruz Bay, Oregon. Some of us are homeless. We're good people. We're not bad. Some of us have issues with drugs. Something triggered us to go homeless. Anyway, it's called survival. You're gonna have to find all kinds of ways to make us survive. And I've eaten out of cans, trash cans. I drank water from mud. It wasn't easy, but it was. I walked through 4 deserts. I walked 2,137 miles to Portable, Oregon. I just take care of it. I'm president, I'm retired. I'm president of VR Enterprises, my own company. But that's what triggered me, my wife's dead. Cruz Bay, Oregon, I ended up in Puerto Rico. Virgin Islands, I was homeless there too. Came back to Victoria. Ended up at Salvation Army. Agriculture. And it's true. Some of us don't know where we're going to sleep at the next night. We don't know where we're going to get our meal, where we're going to get our something to eat. They deserve it. I've seen it. Especially for women. Some of them know how to defend themselves, they carry knives, and don't. But, they deal with that fear. I've seen homeless people by thousands, by just a small hand. Phoenix is bad. Arizona's bad. Oregon. California. It's all out there in this world. All we want is a little respect. That's it. We're picked by the police. People look down on us, they degrade us. Human beings, like they said. We're no different community around this room. It's something triggered us all. The homeless. I have financial. But I consider it. Toss it by. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Philip. Next, we are gonna have Russell Lee.
My name is Russell Lee. I've been on a backpack mission trip since 1987. Lord called me to the service. I'm a college graduate. Spent time with paratroopers. Couldn't find a comfortable place in life, so Lord showed me one after a few trials and tribulations. I think the wrong word is homeless. That's the wrong word. Adrift is a better word. But how do we know that all society is adrift? We have core entertainment. The entertainment watching somebody be dismembered alive, pleading for their lives. Millions of people flock for every new gore movie that comes out. That's normal somehow. But only a nation of animals would think something like that's entertaining. UFC Bloodsport is back. General Mills Corporation makes Wheaties breakfast, put a Bloodsport animal on their cereal box. Champion for breakfast of champions. Market that to little kids when they're eating breakfast in the morning. Bloodsport entertainment. Porn is invading everything. We have a government we can't trust. We have jobs that don't pay from corporations that make $50 million a year. Monetary economics is a slave system. It captures people. You don't have a choice. You have to work hard. You have to keep working just to stay in the things that you have. Stay in your house, stay in your apartment. Homelessness is if nothing else, it's an act of freedom too. It gives you a freedom. It's not a positive freedom, but you're away from the slave chain anyway, and that's positive. It's a choice for many. For some, they don't have a choice. But when we have a society that's adrift, the whole society is adrift. You're going to have not just homeless problems, but we're going to have greater problems that the whole society doesn't realize it has us, so it continues on with these problems. So what do? We have to get back to the truth. We have to live in reality. When you don't live in reality, it all comes apart. And then that's what's wrong with this society. We don't live in reality. We live in a tabloid sensationalist entertainment system from the media that tells us what to think. We have entertainers that make $100 million for singing songs. And our teachers are on subsistence, existence wages, and they're not allowed to teach them. We're fed lies from the very beginning. We're told the Earth orbits the sun by the sun's gravitational pull, but every gravitational pull in space is, of course, a pull to its center. If the Earth had the sun in its grasp, it would pull the Earth into its center. So from the very beginning, we're given a virtual reality of what reality is. We're not given the truth. So what is the truth? You know, what is it that we can found our lives on? What is it that should be guiding us in our life? It's not the TV. No, that's not the truth. It's not the news. It's not the radio. So this is where to present the truth. You walk into a room, you get a drink of water. And as you approach the fountain, you pass the billiard table, and you notice the balls are scattered on the surface. You get the drink. As you turn to leave, you notice the balls are now in a right triangular pattern in order to face them forward. What do you do? Why did the balls decide to do this? No. They're in their balance. They don't have life. They don't have cognizance, consciousness. They don't have motive ability. They can't do anything. They're like a rock. Put a rock on the path, come back 20 years later, it's still on the path. It can't move itself. So the first proof that God's existence is that inner elements cannot move themselves. It's just a statement of fact. It's not real. The second point is, if inner elements move, the requirement is that a force external to them has to exert itself against them to cause them to move, because they can't move themselves. The balls can't move, the rock can't move unless something else moves it, because it can't move itself. It's another statement of fact. It's not arguable. The third point is, if inner elements move in a pattern, the patterns and systems that are predictable and repeating, the requirement is whatever is moving, that external force is moving those inner elements must be where the pattern must possess a consciousness. There must be consciousness in the external force that manipulates inner elements and patterns and systems that are predictable and repeating. That's another statement of fact. You can't argue this. This is reality.
Thank you so much, Russell.
I'm not done.
I know out of respect for time, we have a couple more guests that we want to get to.
Because I'm talking about God and the university.
No, not at all. We just want to give them a time to speak as well.
Can I get 2 more points?
Sure, just two more.
Okay. The atom is an inner element. It is the basis of the foundation of the physical universe and moving patterns and systems of predictable and repeating. It requires the consciousness to be moving these patterns and systems, these balls of atoms, planets, in their orbits. One possesses a consciousness. There's a consciousness in the external forces manipulating the planets of the universe, the physical universe, and it's one universal. I'm sorry, I keep getting this thing. One universal model. The thinking power is controlling the atoms. That's God. We get back to God. Reading the Bible. The society won't be adrift. We'll be looking out for each other. But if you just want to watch the TV, there's no point. You're trying to help anyway, because as the Bible says, you have to examine yourself to see whether you're in the faith before you can help anybody else. And the society needs to examine itself before it's solving these problems.
Thank you again so much, Russell. We value your perspective and opinion. Up next, we have James R. Dunn, affectionately known as Jimbo.
Hello.
Hi. Hey, Jimbo.
Well, as long as you don't know me, my name is James. I have a lot of questions. I have a lot of answers. I have a lot of things to say. I think they got the homeless thing community, and I think it's all wrong. They want to point out there's a problem, there's a problem, there's a problem. Really not fixing the problems. They're just real good directors of pointing out what problem is the problem. The homeless, you put it on a billboard, and you look at it, and you start picking out problems. Okay, you're dissecting the problem, but you're not fixing it. It needs to be addressed. The whole thing needs to be addressed. You look at these apartments, you look at these houses, then you wonder, how can we put a person in that house if they're not going to respect that house, if they're not going to treat that house like their home? And then that comes back to the point, that's a problem you pointed out. Like a friend told me, he said, well, we have to deal with the problems that these individuals have, mentally, emotionally, physical, they're all illness. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to be a drug. It could be a mental disorder. It could be someone who hasn't understood how to, his mind hasn't developed. You can't sit there and say homelessness is just one thing where people, oh, I'm homeless, living on the streets, all this and that. It's not just about that. It's about not being able to have nobody to talk to. Who do I go to when everybody comes to me and says, Jimbo, I got a problem? And you sit down and like, okay, let me help you. I got some soap, I got a person over here you can talk to. But then who does Jimbo go to? I don't look at it as like that. I look at it as, well, I'm gonna put myself on the back burner because my fellow people need help more than I do. Some people say, no, that's not right. Y'all not looking at it from where I'm looking at it. These people aren't coming to you for help. These people aren't coming to y'all, they're coming for me, and I'm a nobody. I'm a nothing. And she wanted me to come up here and speak, y'all don't know. I'm a nobody, bro. I live out there, been out there for so long. That's not the point. Not I want to live out there, I want to stay out there. That's not the point. I'm a nobody, I'm a nothing. And in society's eyes, I'm being nothing. Unless I become a productive member of society. Well, how do you get those steps? Well, it's a long step. There's some big steps, there's little steps, there's all kinds of steps. What do you really want to do for the homeless? You want to get up here and preach and make yourself look good in front of us? I've always said a Bible and a free sandwich lets anybody let you in their camp, they think you're friends of the world. Just because you have a religion doesn't mean I have one. Just because you want to eat a ham sandwich doesn't mean I like it. You know, they address us like, oh man, we're homeless. Bro, a lot of us were, how do you say, stuck out before we got into a stuck out position where we can label it now. I haven't had nobody to come and talk to and say, hey, what's up, Jimbo? I've got problems since I was 13 years old. That's what you call mentally distressed. Who do I go to, though? Who's the next man to come to me and say, bro, I need some help? What kind of person will I be? No, I got problems. Where am I sleeping tonight? Where am I eating? I got my own problems. I'm going to help him first. Why is that? I'm a nobody, man. I'm a nothing. I got 2 kids, one's 19, one's 9. I ain't seen them in umpteen years. I'm gonna fuck up myself. The Lord knows I didn't call that man a lot of times for help. And he was like, well, you know, you got blessings, this and blessings, that. I don't know what to look at. I don't know how to look at it. I look at it like, at least I ain't dead. I got some things on there too. Because if this is hell, I don't want to be here no more. I'm tired of my friends eating out of trash cans and begging for people to bring them food. In heaven, we don't got that. I don't know how it is up there, but I've been told it's a lot better than down here. I'm not willing to go so fast, but hell, I'm willing to stop suffering. And I know I got some friends out there that are like, well, you put yourself in this. And you did it to yourself. I did. I was on a path to self-destruction. So now that I'm at that age, I'm 51, I don't want to go down that path no more. So when I see these youngsters, these 25, 30-year-old youngsters out there at the park, all they want to do is live their life and get high. I can't sit down and stand for that. I got to tell them something. It's not me who should be up here. It should be the concerned parents and citizens of the people that are around us. We can't do nothing. And my mom used to say, you ain't got a pot to piss in and when to throw it out. I ain't got nothing. When I leave here, it's not me gonna make a decision or choice. It's society. Society comes by and gives us food and gives us wood to burn. If people don't do it, then what are we gonna get? What are we gonna have? Now we need to depend on everybody else to live. That's not cool either. But hell, what do we do then? I ain't got nowhere to go. Shit. I'm struggling on my light bill. It's the same thing. You got problems if you have a home. You just don't want to hear the people who have homes who have problems. I had a house for 27 years and land taxes. Every year my daddy would complain. We paid him, took care of business. That's all we have to do. Somewhere along the line I got lost, bro. Homelessness is not just a problem. It's not just one little area. Everybody needs to think about, man, you're addressing it the wrong way. I need a place to live. I need to get off drugs. I need to do this. No, it's not about you. It's not about what you can do. And for that right now, it's the future of the whole thing. Because apparently, it's not getting smaller. The statistics I heard a while ago, the thing is not like it was 10 years ago. It's getting bigger. So in society, when we see these abandoned apartment buildings and these rundown buildings, as taxpayers, I don't have this option to say no more. But when I was paying taxes, I'd be like, hey, wait a minute, man. I don't want my tax money to go to some bullshit because there's 3 apartment buildings down here that 19 people ain't got no place to live. Nobody's got food in their house hardly. They don't get all the way the homeless is stuck out. Yeah, well, people who got houses and live, bro, they got kids in college, they got food, they got problems at their home. Well, I sleep with cockroaches. They got cockroaches in Crossroads. And they got houses. I ain't got no car. These people in line every other day to get a gas card. It's not just a problem. Society itself has let us down. Because we put so much into it. 50 years of working your ass off and then you retire, and then 2 months later you die. What is society? You look at homeless, it's not a problem. Bro, it's society. You gotta look at the big picture. Just sit back and look at the whole problem. People with homes and badass cars got problems just like we do. People, they fight for their pride too. You come over there and kick one of their cars on their bicycles and cars, they're gonna be mad just like you go over there and kick my Vulcan. So it's the same thing. It's just, we're on the wrong side of the tracks. Bro, everybody's on the wrong side of the tracks. Everybody's on the side of the track. It don't matter what side you're on. It all matters what you want to do, man. That's the question. What you want to do?
We want to thank Jimbo so much for sharing his thoughts. Last but certainly not least, we have Miss Paula Antoine. It's going to come up and speak for us.
Hello. I'm Paula. I was born in Chicago, raised in Dallas. I became homeless at 15. I was pregnant, and my mom was a functioning alcoholic. I think I'd rather lived on the street than be at home because of the abuse at home. I got into a lot of stuff as you do on the streets. I became an addict within a little amount of time. Went to prison 4 times. While I was in prison, the last time I kind of said, okay, this is a repetitive action. What do I need to do? I started studying for my GED. Got my GED, got out, and went to prison again. Once I got to prison again, and got out, a family member called me. She said, what can I do to help you get off the drugs, get off the streets, and to become a productive person in society? Me thinking of myself as a productive person was kind of hard. Because on the streets as a woman, I was scared. A lot of things happened to me on the streets. I remember sitting in front of a store one day, and I didn't want any money or any drugs that day. I just wanted somebody to look at me and tell me it would be okay. I wanted somebody to look at me and tell me that this cycle wasn't going to go on for the rest of my life. That I wasn't going to eat out the trash can every day of my life. So when she made that call, I said, Deborah, I want to go to school. She said, what's keeping you from going to school, Paul? I said, student loan, I didn't finish. She said, send me the paperwork. She paid for me to go to school. I enrolled at El Central College. I had never been to college, or I didn't even finish high school. But when I stepped into that classroom, I loved it. I loved listening. I loved sitting there, seeing how people live, or learning how to write right. I love to write. Finally, I kept relapsing. kept relapsing. I couldn't stay clean. I said, well, I think I better move. You know? And so I found a little town called Victoria. Never heard of Victoria. So I moved to Victoria. I said, where's the college at? She said, Victoria's College right up the street. So I came in, enrolled in Victoria College. Well, you talking about friendly white people. So, I was working one day at Christ Kitchen, volunteering. I'm just working. I met a woman. I said, hey, who are you? I'm a pretty white lady. Hey, what's your name? She said, Jennifer. I said, Jennifer, I'm from Dallas. We got to call she's from Dallas. She's from the hood. I never saw you in the hood before. And come to find out she was the president of the college. And I was like, I go to that college. My pastor goes here also. And I was doing that time I was on Social Security. The thing about being homeless, you learn to live homeless and you learn to be homeless. People in society don't realize that once you take a homeless person off the street, that you have to teach us how to live again. How society says we're supposed to live. Oh, you're not supposed to go to the trash can and get dinner. You're supposed to go in your kitchen and get dinner. Oh, you're not supposed to spend your check on drugs. You're supposed to spend your check on your rent and stuff. So I had to be taught that again. I got, after living off of Social Security for over 30-some years, they kept me in slave. She said, don't you want a job? Not really. I like laying there and living off of Social Security. No, Paula. So she told me to go fill out an application. And I went and had an interview with another pretty white lady. A lot of them in there. And so, when I walked out the interview, that thought in the back of my mind again, they're not gonna hire me. Like Jim was there, I thought I was a nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I got that call, and they hired me. And I now work for the continuing education ed building. She took a chance on me. That the journey was hard. I was homeless for 20-some years. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes my boss had to come find me because I wander around when I'm homeless. But they're patient with me. They let me know that they don't understand, but they care. You know what I'm saying? And they're making it easier for me to get out of that mode of where I was. A lot of bad things happened to me, but now a lot of good things is happening to me. I graduated last year with my associates. Now I'm going on to get my bachelor's. I understand. I see you. I feel you. And I know what you go through each day out there. I know how it is to lay on the ground. I know how it is not to be able to close your eyes. I know how it is that you want to see people just have respect for you. I've been spit on, I've been stuck thrown at me and everything. But I want to tell you that it's not going to last forever. It's just going to, your angel is coming. And they're going to reach their hand down and pick you up. And they're going to put you around people that do understand that it's going to be patient and help you get through it. In Victoria College, UHB, and continuing education building is doing it. And now I would like to introduce my boss who I work with. It's Tiffany Johnson, who's going to tell you a little bit.
Hi. I won't take a lot of time because Paula did such a good job of telling you all her successes. So I'll also tell you that she gets a little nervous and she gets a lot confused sometimes, and she works for the adult education program. So we're gonna monitor that. When you guys come looking for us, you can come visit her. One of her primary jobs is to make that connection with our potential students. She knows the life. And I love that Mr. Jimbo, he stepped out. Okay, I love that he brought up the fact that homelessness is not a problem, because that's a unique way of looking at And as someone who's never been homeless, as someone who's worked with many people who have, as a person in our community that cares, because I do drive down the street, I do see you, we want to fix things. And that's what tugs at our heartstrings. So looking at homelessness as it's not a problem is kind of a problem for me, because I want to fix things and I want to reach out. And when Paula came into her interview and started sharing her stories, by the way, held nothing back during her job interview. Needless to say, if she ever goes on another job interview, we need to talk about things to not disclose in a job interview. And so we did take a chance on Paula, but one thing she was very clear about is she said, I do not know these things. I do not know these skills. I cannot use a computer very well. Can you hire me and show me these things? And that's exactly what we did. So I didn't fix Paula. She reached out and said, can you help me? And we said, of course. So our program that she works with actually targets individuals who have difficulty speaking English, students who do not have a GED, students that did not finish school, maybe students that did finish school, and it's been a while, and you have no clue, and you don't think college is for you. We're the program you can start with. We take you through each and every step, and we hold your hand every step of the way. You do not need an address. You do not need a social security number. We are welcoming you in to guide you in that next step so that you can also follow some of the successes and you can make your destiny there. As well as Paula being able to reach out and make that connection. We have resources there to help and support you, not just education. And our program is completely free. We do not charge anything for our services to be able to help you take that next step. But again, I'm not here to solve the problems. I'm here to, as Paula said, reach out and say, here are the resources we have, here are the tools, if you'd like to take advantage of those. And that's her job, is to find others who need that person to reach out. And she makes an excellent person to reach out to you guys. So I also want to say thank you so much to each and every one of you who have spoke today for sharing your stories. That takes a lot of courage to get up here and to share that, but as a community member, we need to hear you, and we do see you, so thank you so much.
Thank you. So I know we said Paula would be our last one. We have one more. She was in class, so she was running a little late, and she does want to share her story, so let's welcome Kat Martinez.
Ladies and gentlemen, esteemed guests, thank you for giving me the opportunity to share my story with you today. My name is Patricia Martinez, and I do go to Victoria College, and I just started on the first and I stand before you as a person who, like many others, has faced the harsh reality of homelessness. Before I became homeless, I had a little filled with happiness, dreams, and inspiration, just like everyone else. I had a place to call home, a job that brought me full fulfillment in a community that I was part of. Life can take unexpected turns and circumstances change for me. I found myself without a place to call. Oh wait, hold on, I'm sorry. And I wanted to. I found myself without a place called home. Navigating the challenges of being a homeless individual, it's reality that is often misunderstood. And I want to shed light on experiences that many face on the streets. It is not just about lacking physical shelter. It is about the constant struggle for survival. The uncertainty of where the next meal will come from and the vulnerability of not having a safe space to rest. And homelessness, amid homelessness, it becomes difficult to hold on to the hope and the dreams that once fueled our spirits. Yet, deep within every homelessness individuals, there is yearning for a brighter future. We hold on to the belief that with support, understanding, and opportunities, we can rebuild our lives. The human spirit is resilient, and with the right resources, we can overcome the challenges that homelessness presents. To stress and worries that come with not having a place to sleep or call home are immense. It affects not only our physical well-being, but it also our mental health. The constant struggle to find shelter, the fear of unknown, and the signs, the stigma attached to homelessness can take a toll on one's sense of self-worth. It is a daily battle that requires not just empathy, but also practical solutions. So what can we do to help the homeless? First and foremost, we need to recognize the humanity in each person facing homelessness. We must challenge stereotypes, understand that circumstances, not character, often lead to these challenging situations. Providing access to shelters, mental health services, addiction treatment, and job training programs are critical steps in addressing the immediate needs of the homeless population. Moreover, we must advocate for policies that create affordable housing opportunities, address the root cause of homelessness. Support from the community and policy makers is essential to create a safety net that help individuals like me regain stability and contribute meaningfully to society. Personally, homeless has offered my life in ways that extended beyond the lack of shelter. It has hindered my ability to travel to work, stripped me of the proper clothing to maintain employment, and placed barriers between me and a broader future. This is not a burden that one should bear alone, and it requires a collective effective to break the cycle of hopelessness. In closing, I stand here not only as a representative of the homeless community, but as a testament of the strength and the resides within each person facing homelessness. With your understanding, support, and commitment, we can walk towards a future where homelessness is rare exception rather than a stark reality. Thank you for listening, and let us join hands to create a world where everyone has a place to call home.
Thank you, Pat. Now we are, those are our speakers. I want to thank all of you for sharing your story. Now we're going to open it up to questions. If y'all have any questions for any of our speakers? Anybody?
I'd like to know, those that are here, how many went into a farming shelter during the recent cold spell? And if you did, what was your experience? And if you didn't, why didn't you? What would be better? But you said you did go in.
Yes, I did go in. Actually, my first two nights of the freeze, I was on the streets in the city that, and the bunks of the Salvation Army. I've been calling them bands, trying to the working shelter is very nice. There's plenty of food. Everyone is great. I didn't get to stay in there the full night because finally the bunks opened up while I was there. And after the
can't stay at one shelter. I came by fire, under a fire with my dog. I felt just fine. The wife, they were dirty and stuff, they ain't nothing. Cold don't bother me, wet does, but they cold.
So there's nothing we can do.
Well, I don't have the experience staying there because my dogs give me food.
You could have practiced it, but.
No.
No, not Boo.
My dog's name is Michelle, a little wench. The meanest, excuse my language, she's the meanest bitch in Queen City, I cannot help it. When you're attacking your sleep and your dog changes your leg because you, or she's in heat at the time, I got beat in my sleep, my leg was broken. She was changing my leg. It's not my fault. I got her when she was 6 months old. She was tormented and swallowed killing her and her sister. So I'm sorry my dog was a bitch. So that's my language, what I know.
One of the online questions was if we have any numbers for homeless families that include children, if those were a part of the point in time. No. Okay.
Because the thing is, most people that have children will put their children with family or friends while they're outside.
That's what I had.
Mm-hmm.
My son and my grandma, or my aunt and my uncle.
Help with the kids.
People say with VCPHD we're just under 700, 700 VCPHD students. So that's not including siblings that are under 3 years old, not enrolled in a VCPHD program,
Mhm.
or babies, or parents in the home. So just students.
Just
So-
students. Okay. Okay. Thanks.
And that is doubled up, literally homeless, shelter. So it's it's an even to definition.
Yeah, and that's a great point you bring up, Kim. If you can kind of talk about the variations of homelessness, that like you were saying, how some people don't recognize that that's what they're dealing with. Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, homelessness looks like a lot of different things. I mean, here, because we deal with big city and with rural homelessness looks a lot different than people who stay inside the city limits of Victoria. Because when you are out there in, let's say, Cuero or Yoakum and Calhoun, I mean, we know there are people that stay under the piers in Fort Lavaca and other places. Like, it looks completely different because the situation in the place is different. The resources are different. You may not have any resources. I'm glad to see during the time that it got cold that we had Goliad had opened a warming center. Fort Lavaca had 2 different ones, or the Calhoun County had 3 different ones. We had ours here. So the thing is, people are recognizing that something needs to be done. And even though it may seem like a small thing to do, considering the fact of how long some of us have been doing this, and like I said, I'm a baby compared to some of the people in this room who've been fighting for people for a long time. The thing is, it's huge. Having those small things, because it gets more people to think about people as human. It humanizes our friend. It gives us a chance for people to actually sit and talk to people across the table from Christ's Kitchen or Salvation Army or wherever you might be. And you get to form those relationships, because the thing is, if we can't form relationships with people, then basically we will never be able to help anybody. So, like I said, we have lots of people. We have our foster kids. There's still a young man who's not even a kid anymore. A young man who fostered, he was basically the moment he turned 18, he was kicked out of his house, and because he feels differently from other people, he has basically struggled with homelessness since then. For the past probably 10 years that he's probably getting close to 30 at this point, and he has struggled with homelessness, and he was beaten up recently. It was probably about 3 months ago. I mean, just the whole side of his face just bruised. It's hard being homeless and not experiencing violence. We have lots of people that sleep in their cars, even if it's briefly, but we have many people that are sleeping in motels right now, because there is no place. They've been evicted. A lot of people don't know their rights as renters, and that causes a potential for people to become vulnerable to eviction and homelessness. There are lots of places that won't even accept you if you have an eviction on your record, so that reduces your places that you can go. Also, a large population of people who end up homeless are people who come out of prison. We do not do enough for people. We talk about wanting to give people second chances, but we don't. We don't do it. Not on the scale that needs to happen. We need to care about people in a different way. We need to support them and create support systems for them. It's not about, we do the whole hand up, hand out thing, but the main thing is that if you don't surround people with love, they say things like what Jimbo said. Jimbo is far from being nothing. Every single one of you that I know, you guys are valid human beings. But the thing is, when you're hurting and when people treat you a certain way, you don't feel like you're worth anything, but I'll be damned if I ever let anybody talk to y'all like you're nothing. Yeah, and so like I said, the thing is, it is important for us to create those systems of support in a way that is honest to goodness, helpful.
You know, I came in here when I got back to town, and I had to get, because I haven't been in town, and I haven't been over here in a long time. And when I come through town and I see some that I already knew, and I see them still doing the same thing, see these grown men, no disrespect for them, doing the same thing. I just, I just lost
But there's
it.
a cycle of things too.
I said, you know, because these boys, at one time, they had structure, they had no issues, no traumas, no abuse, no nothing. When I see mine out, when I see, that's it. And the process is, it's dragging too long. They should not have not one injury, they should not have one black eye, one bruise, nothing. They've lived it, they've done this, we've done this before. Something ain't right in the process, somebody's just lagging, gagging.
There's lots of things that are wrong.
There's a lot of it.
Yes, sir.
With all of you, there's no such thing as resources. You got Christ Kitchen. You don't eat there. Corpus Christi, I was there homeless. In 7 days a week, got told me to get free medical. Doesn't resources. I was in Phoenix, Arizona. And resources for that. There's no resources here.
I mean, the thing is,
They don't care. They got other things to worry
I
about.
was
That's my opinion.
homeless, I'm sorry I wasn't part of the panel, but I was homeless for over 2 years. I went to Austin, the state capital, and was homeless over there for a couple of months, almost. Cold, rats would climb on me at night, big sewer rats, all that stuff. I called every resource that I could find in the Austin, and they couldn't help me. I get back here to Victoria, and I got help, just like that. Smaller town, everything. So, there's certain states that you go to, or certain parts of the state that can't help you or won't help.
By no means is Victoria perfect.
No, it's
No,
not.
the thing is,
Like she said, there's more resources here, it's awesome, or standing.
I
the
wouldn't
thing is,
know about,
they're in closer proximity to you guys for sure.
yeah.
But the thing is, we still struggle with transportation, we still struggle with a lot of things that don't happen, and I get that. The thing is, don't think that it goes missed, we talk about these things all the time. The thing is, what we have to do is find people to stand in those gaps. And that's part of the problem is that you do have people, I mean, for years, I've gone out and done stuff, I finally had to put boundaries, because I can't do stuff 24/7. And a lot of times, people call me at 1 a.m., I can't answer the phone at 1 a.m. I have 5 boys myself, I've got, things I've got to, and I'm older. I have to actually, I can't push myself to the point where basically I can't do anything anymore, because I'm no good to anybody like that. But the thing is, like I said, it looks different for everybody, and can we do better? We can always do better. Anybody who says we are 100%, they have no.
Kim, I would like to say Kim.
Yes, ma'am. And your voice echoed over here.
Sometimes, I project over other places sometimes. Anyway, what I would like to say, homelessness is not a quick fix. I was homeless for over 20 years, chronic. When they say chronic, I mean I was homeless. We think that, we put you in an apartment, we give you a job, we give you some clothes, we give you some food, and you're fine. No. Homelessness, you have to teach them how to get back out there in society. That's like coming out of prison even. I had to be taught. 4 years wasn't a long, don't seem like a long time, but for somebody who's locked up, I had to be taught because the world is changing every day. So as being homeless, they get you an apartment. I took my basket up in the apartment. I think that's what it is. I slept on the floor still, and you got a bed in here. You have to teach me how to do it. I had to have a social worker come by each week and teach me, come on, let's go to the store. I said, you mean I can't go to the dope house? No, not today. Come on, we're going to the store. Oh, you mean I have to take a bath today? Yes, we take a bath every day. You know what I'm saying? So this is something that people have, that I don't know if the community wants to put in the work. Because you're going to have to put in the work to, to deal with these people. Like even with the mental illness. I'm schizophrenic and anxiety and depression. So I have to have a little more work than somebody who's normal, and society say they're normal. So what society has to be willing to do, I was homeless in Dallas. Yes, up there, you're only homeless if you want to be. But you're on, because council's going to come out there and get you, hey, come on, let's take you step by step. Homelessness, climbing up out of that hole is like a step by step by step. You can't give up on them. Some people want to just give up. Victoria needs a way to show them how to think. In Dallas, you can't say I'm homeless in this, because they're going to say, no, you can get your breast. No, you can get your ID. It's not an excuse. They have to have, Victoria needs to have something where they don't have no excuse. There's no excuse. You just want to be out here. We can't say the word. You know what I'm saying? Victoria doesn't have that. Because here you don't have, like you say, certain things that people need to come up out of homelessness. You know what I'm saying? Like, we done say, okay, you can go get your GED, but I ain't got nowhere to sleep. I ain't got no clothes. I ain't got no this. I can't walk in there and get a GED or focus on the GED and I'm hungry. You know what I'm saying? The college has started, but the community has started. They got to catch up with the college.
I know what you're getting to. It's like basically, they got to stop with the mental illness. That has to stop. Because, first of all, we touch those satellites, send them up. It ain't nothing to do with mental illness. You've got to stop that. They've taken it way too overboard. That you okay, fine, you want to be 30 years old and claim somebody mental? Go do that yourself. Stop doing that to the children. Stop doing that. Stop feeding it to their heads. That has to stop. Because we've already been researching, looking at everything, and it's making a lot more sense than they're crazy. No, they're not. No, they're not. It's from overlapping. It's from being silent, having a deaf ear, getting away, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going, keep on going. And never getting it back to that process like we should have. You know what I'm saying? So there's nothing wrong with it. They're not gay, they're not this, they're not an animal, they're not that. Nothing wrong with it. You've got to stop all that. That has to be stopped. That's the main issue, it has to be stopped. I mean, it's beyond. For the abuse that they're suffering, I mean, hey, you wanna lay in bed, take those, you wanna be like, you wanna live that life and keep on saying, okay, yeah, they're crazy, go, be our guest. So they can get you in that bed and black you up. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm, that or you gotta unload all the hospital beds. Get them up out of those homes.
We have any other,
Effects.
thank you. Do we have any other online questions or anything?
Any other questions, audience?
I have a question for Paula.
Okay, Paula.
Give you guys to do that. I wish that you could see yourself the way that I see you, the way that we see you, because you're beautiful on the inside and out. And I'm just curious, as you're going through now, and it's still adjusting, and probably always be adjusting, right? As you're adjusting to your role now as not just a college student, but a working professional who helps others, what do you do when you still find yourself doubting your worth and whether or not that you're worthy or deserve to be in the role that you're in?
I doubt myself about 50% of the day, every day. Like, did I do it right or did I say it right?
Me too.
she'll just tell me like it is. And I'm gonna say, okay, girl, come on, let's go skiing. So I don't scared like this. But I have to bring myself back and say, okay, I do deserve it, you know. And like someone said, as a kid, I didn't run up to my mom and say, hey, I got a brilliant idea. Guess what I want to be? She said, what? A convict and live homeless. I didn't do that. You know, I had dreams. I had, you know what I'm saying? And I don't come to work or school every day for me alone. Man, I talked to my boss about this. I want others to see that's out there, because y'all are my brothers and sisters. You know what I'm saying? The ones that live under that bridge, in that tent. Y'all my family. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of days the streets took care of me. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to say it, the streets took care of me. And I want y'all to see that I can sit on the side of a lady like Jennifer Kent, that's the president of the college, or Tiffany Johnson, that's the director of continuing education department. I can sit on the side of them, and they don't never have to know that I came from one of those bridges. I'm telling you, this road ends. You know what I'm saying? This road ends, and you will succeed. I walked across the stage today. I never walked across no stage. I walked across one last year. I didn't walk on the other side of the freeway to get something to eat out the trash can. I walked on the stage to get it across. People like Jennifer and Tiffany that works with you, it can happen. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for coming. We just want to bring Ms. Trish Hastings down here for our closing remarks.
Did you want to say something real quick? You wanted to say something?
Oh, I apologize. Go ahead.
It has a lot to do with the homeless and what I've had to live through is, you know, a lot of people look at us like drug addicts, all of us, they throw us in the group. And granted, I've been an heroin user for 11 years. I'm not now. But what kept me an addict is the fact that the only people that really want to help anyone that's homeless are other drug users. And it throws us back into a situation where we're at their mercy and they can rob us and throw us out again just because they're homeless. I mean, you really want to fix a lot of the drug problem. You want to find a place to live. We don't have to put ourselves in a situation to keep falling back into the same addictions. I mean, I didn't think I could realize myself at this age anyways, but I've been homeless for coming up on 3.5 years now. These cars, houses, under the bridge, other Conway Bridge, of course, just everywhere. But my biggest problem was the fact that when I was homeless, the only people that wanted to help us was other drug addicts. And they weren't really helping us, they were just targeting us.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. So I mean, you fix one problem, you can fix the drug problem altogether. I mean, this homelessness sucks. There's gonna be a bright side of it. If you're strong, you'll make it. And if you're smart, you'll make it well.
Yeah. And nobody should judge by anybody by their cover and how they're dressed. You know what, that could be God.
Kim said something earlier about how she would look at how people, it came off like, she said she didn't realize, you know, until about, 10, 15 minutes ago, you started realizing. Me, I've always said, a person's like a book, you don't judge them by the cover. You sit down and you talk to that person, it's like reading a book. You know, don't be afraid to approach the homeless. You know, don't be afraid to, you know, because it's not just one person's problem, it's everybody's problem.
And can I interject something here? I feel like every time we say the homeless,
Yeah.
it keeps you from personalizing that that's my friend Teresa right there. That's my friend Paula.
Yeah.
That's Gus right there. The thing is, they have names. You guys are people. And we need to stop saying the homeless as if you're one big group of people. You're not a school are someone who is going through homelessness.
Here's another thing. A coma, going under an 18-wheeler, or a coma in the hospital, it affects each and every one of us. Major accident, it affects, and it's gotten to be almost, it's tripled on a daily basis of, you know, the accidents and sickness and it's, yeah, it's rising, so it's like, trying to get back down.
If you don't think it was scary for our friends to get up here and tell their stories, you're wrong. I'm so nervous for you. What an excellent job. I applaud you. I'm very proud to say that my best friends don't have homes. And thank you, Jenny, for being here. Keith, Jessica. Who else is here that's in the service? Thank you. We are all in the fight together, and friends, please know that. We will see it at some point. Thank you so much for being here, and I love you dearly.
Love you too.